Hi, in this lecture I'm going to show you how to change the size of these widgets. So to have the image bigger in here and to have the text input and the search image button smaller and located somewhere in here. Just like this screenshot that you see here on the right. This is very easy to do. There might be different ways, but the way I would suggest is to use relative sizes, which means that we can go under each of these three widgets, image, text input and button, and add for each a size hint y property. So size underscore hint underscore y. So what is this size hint y? Well, that expects a sort of a weight, which is a number that defines how much space will a widget take in relative to the entire height of the screen. So currently by default, this is like 0.333 for each of, let me indent, for each of the widgets. So even though we haven't defined it explicitly, it's something like that. So on the vertical, on the y-axis, each of these widgets is taking 0.33333. And if I execute that, I got a syntax error somewhere in here. Okay, oh, I got an extra F here, sorry. Delete that, save the Kiwi file before executing again. And yeah, so we get the same output. But if you want to change this, as you might guess, you want to define a higher weight for the image widget. So as you can see, the weight of all the widgets adds up to 1. Therefore, if we define 0.8 for this, we need to define 0.1 for that and 0.1 for that. Or if you want less for text input, let's say 0.08. And then here you'd want to define 0.12. So that the sum of all these three values is equal to 1. But I'm just going to keep it simple and leave it 0.1 here, 0.1 here. And save, execute. And this is what we get. Not bad. So again, we can write text here. We can press a button, which doesn't do anything for now. If we had widgets horizontally, so if we had, just like we have multiple rows, 3 rows in this case, if we had multiple columns, then we would have to play around with the size hint x property as well. But this is not the case, so that's enough. Lastly, if you want to have some padding, you can see the screenshot here. It has some space between the image and the main screen manager. But our app currently is very tight, so there's no space in here. If you want to make some space between the widgets and the screen manager, then what you want to add here is padding 10 maybe. Save, execute to see the difference. So you see that now we have some space between the widgets and the outside border of the screen manager. And here as well. Now what if you want space between the widgets themselves? So you see they are very coupled to each other. We don't have a space here, we don't have a space here. If you want to have space between them, you just say spacing. Now a 10 would be fine. You can experiment with different numbers, but 10 is a good number. As you see now, we have some space in here. So it's looking much better. In the next lecture, I'm going to put into action the search image button, because currently it's not connected to any action. It's not connected to any methods, to any Python code in the backend. So we need to connect it to some Python code in the backend so that something happens when we press it. See you in the next lecture.